Great works of literature stand the test of time. One such work is The Great Gatsby, written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Although it took years for its impact to be fully recognized, it now has immense popularity and staying power amongst readers worldwide. Now, author Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald was born on September 24, 1896, in St. Paul, Minnesota. His family lived off of his mother's sizable inheritance. Now, Fitzgerald, he left Minnesota for Princeton and later moved to New York City. When he was 22 years old, he fell in love with socialite Zelda Sayre. It wasn't until Fitzgerald published his first novel, This Side of Paradise, in 1920, that Zelda deemed him appropriate to marry. As his writing career blossomed, he and Zelda enjoyed their celebrity. However, this lifestyle came with a price. For years, Fitzgerald struggled with alcoholism and depression, which wreaked havoc on his career and his health. Ultimately, these factors contributed to his heart attack that killed him on December 21, 1940, at the age of 44. Now, many aspects of Fitzgerald's life are mirrored in The Great Gatsby. Details are scattered throughout his work in the form of character traits, story settings, and then the conflicts themselves. When The Great Gatsby was first released, it received mediocre reviews and sold poorly. By the time of Fitzgerald's death, the author was largely forgotten. When the U.S. Army entered World War II, they gave copies of The Great Gatsby to soldiers to improve their morale. In 1944, The Great Gatsby had only sold 120 copies. Today, the book regularly sells 500,000 copies per year. The Great Gatsby is set in 1920s America. Now, this is an era marked by tremendous change in the country's culture and lifestyle. The Roaring Twenties, also known as the Jazz Age, both free-spirited and fast-paced. Now, the economy began to grow by leaps and bounds. We're talking mass production spurring massive consumer economy. People left the countryside for the cities, resulting in the country's urban population outnumbering its rural population for the very first time. All of these movements combined to create an American society characterized by more freedom, more time, and more disposable income than any previous generation. This created a stark chasm between the haves and the have-nots of society. Frivolous spending and recreational leisure were prevalent, while those in the middle and lower classes suffered greatly. Luxuries such as automobiles, homes, radios, phones, and other items were outside the reach of most Americans. The themes in The Great Gatsby echo and scrutinize the societal influences prevalent in this time period. The characters embody the various classes, values, behaviors, and customs, as well as the ideals and ethics, or lack thereof, of the time. It is the collision of these factors, and most especially of the two polarized classes, both chasing the American dream, that is at the very heart of The Great Gatsby. Now, the story starts with the narrator, Nick Carraway, moving to New York City. He attends the first of Gatsby's parties. The two men become friends and grow very close. Tom Buchanan, the husband of Nick's cousin Daisy, introduces Nick to his mistress, Myrtle. Rumors about Gatsby's past start to spread. Nick meets Gatsby's business partner, Mr. Wolfsheim. Now, Daisy and Tom, they both attend one of Gatsby's parties, and they have a horrible time. Daisy and Gatsby, they appear to be in love. Tom discovers this and explodes about their affair. In the climax of the novel, Gatsby and Tom battle over Daisy, while Daisy, she chooses Tom. Myrtle is killed by Gatsby's car, driven by Daisy. George Wilson, Myrtle's husband, he kills Gatsby and turns the gun on himself. Almost no one attends Gatsby's funeral, and then Nick, disappointed and disgusted, returns home to the Midwest. There is so much symbolism in The Great Gatsby. For example, the Valley of Ashes. This represents the disconnect between the poor and the rich. There's the green light. It symbolizes the power of our dreams. Then, the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg, which represent a lost spirituality in American society. There are four main themes in The Great Gatsby. They're class, not just rich versus poor, but new money versus old money, the Midwest versus the East. Another theme is superficiality versus truth. For example, many of the characters lead double lives, their outward display versus their inner self. Then there's the American dream and what people are willing to do in order to get it. And finally, the degradation of society, represented in the latter part of the novel by the characters being callous, impersonal, and just not caring about one another. For generations, readers all over the world have enjoyed this masterwork because of the beauty of the writing, the insightful narration, its multiple themes, and layered symbolism. At its very core, The Great Gatsby allows all of us to question and explore who we are in relation to our dreams. And because of that, I believe The Great Gatsby will continue to capture the hearts and minds of readers for many more generations.